So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me. simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
Welcome to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, where in a single moment you can recognize your brilliance and change your life. This is a transformational hour that covers an array of topics that demonstrate how individuals use their native talents, as shown in their name, to look at the ordinary in extraordinary ways. Now, Albert Einstein once said that everybody's a genius. Why would one of the smartest people on the planet declare that everyone is a genius unless he knew that to be true? Now, I'm your host, Sharon Lynn Wyeth, creator of Namology Science and author of Know the Name, Know the Person. And in each weekly show, you hear the fascinating ways that other people discovered the genius in themselves and what they were able to accomplish. At the end of tonight's show, you'll hear clues on how you can recognize your own innate genius. Now, all over the world, people have many, many diverse interests. And in that vein, people have asked about different occupations, different areas of life that have highly interested them. People want to know how highly successful people have managed to achieve their genius mindset when they use the gifts that are seen in their name when we use namology science. So how does someone express their creative talents, and how does someone share those gifts with others in such a way that everybody benefits? Our expert tonight is Clifford Todd, who has developed his genius in the area of manifesting his ideas into reality. He has quite a variety of a background here. Now, Clifford grew up on a farm and learned social graces from his mom. His undergraduate work was done at Denison University prior to going to law school at the University of Cincinnati in Ohio. Now, something happened by the end of that first year, and he decided to stop doing what was expected of him by others, and instead he chose to follow his own passion. That resulted in him leaving law school at the end of the first year and instead attending Rice University in Houston, Texas for the next 3 years. Now, just shy of getting his Ph.D., only needing to finish his dissertation, he was offered a job with the American Medical Association as its first medical economist. Now, he created one of the first managed care facilities, and it was funded by the government, and that took him to Denver, Colorado. Unhappy with the government telling him what the results of the studies had to be, he ditched that job, being able to forever obtain another government contract because you can't go against them. And he parlayed his knowledge to become a financial advisor to over 100 medical groups. Now, that's just the beginning of the story, but we'll tell you the rest as the hour progresses. Welcome to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You radio show, Clifford.
Well, thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Now, Clifford, you've had quite an adventure in your life, and you kept moving around for schools and jobs, and now you're in California. So what took you from Colorado, where we last left off, to California?
I left Colorado. I went to Minnesota. I lived in the Twin Cities for 17 years, saying I'm never going to do another winter, and finally moved to California. And that evolved into moving to Oregon. I moved to Nicaragua. I moved to Belize. I moved back to California. And I've moved around in California a few times. And am delightfully in a very comfortable, environmentally supportive, loving space.
Now,
and
we know that the fires are going on right now in California. Are you anywhere close to those?
Fortunately, no. And once when there was a fire relatively close, I said to myself, are they going to let all these mansions burn, or am I safe here? So I was safe. And right now I'm not even close to where the current fires are. But I have friends who have evacuated their homes, and some have come here and gone, and it's really kind of a mess. But we are surviving.
It's such a sad thing, and I want to offer our prayers in that direction and to the firefighters also. Now, when you and I spoke earlier, you stated that you hadn't really taken law school very seriously, and you didn't become a serious student until you went to Rice University. Now, both law school and especially Rice have rigorous admission requirements, so you had to have done well in your undergraduate work. So did you study a lot during that time, or did it just come easy for you?
Most of the time it came easy, and life has not come easy. We learn and evolve out of our challenges and trials and tribulations and mistakes. And I no longer look at all of those experiences as negative, because once I began to understand the value in all of those experiences and sort of ingrained that into my heart, it gave me a much better basis to really understand other people. And it's through that understanding of other people that today I'm able to do the work that I do with people and through people.
Okay, now that's quite a leap of faith to change from law school, following what your family expected of you, to attending Rice and forging your own path. So what happened during that law school year that caused you to change in thinking that resulted you to change directions?
My older brother was an attorney. My father was an attorney. The family joke was the firm of Todd, and Todd. Hello, is Mr. Todd there? No, he's in Montana, Elkhorn. Is Mr. Todd there? He's skiing in Michigan with his wife. Is Mr. Todd there? Speaking. and quite recently, through some work in really digging into the wounds of my life, I understood that desire for freedom started when I was a kid on the farm, and my father would teach my older brother, and his job was to teach me. And my father never taught me any skills. They all came through my older brother. And in retrospect, I felt like a slave on my father's plantation. And I didn't come in touch with that until quite recently, that the core experience in my life that has driven a life of seeking freedom actually started when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. And I'm grateful to finally understand where all that came from. And,
now, in Mali, Africa, that is the culture. The oldest child gets to go to school and none of the rest. And the oldest child's responsibility is to come home and teach the younger siblings. So however well they learn or don't learn and however well they teach is how the family manages. But the other thing that's interesting in Mali, Africa, is that not only is it the oldest child's responsibility to come home and teach, but at 3rd grade, they stop using their native tongue. And in 4th grade, everybody has to know French. So if you can't learn French over the summer, or if somebody at home can't teach you, then you end up dropping out of school, and then nobody gets educated, which is kind of very different from here. Now, Clifford, you've had a really interesting path. You went from law and then into Rice University, and then as an economist for the Medical Association. And then you've had a various paths since then, and you did quite well as an economist for the Medical Association and started one of the first managed care programs, which we want to get into after the break, because first we want to do that part of the show where we interpret a portion of your name. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Your name says that your largest challenge is your name is that you might want to hold on to things too long, be it material things, be it ideas, be it jobs, be it whatever, that you might want to hold on a little bit longer than it was in your best interest. It says that you have fairness issues. You want the world to be fair. And so you've learned how to stand up for yourself and stand up for others, that you feel better when you're the one in charge, because then you know that something's going to get done right. Okay. And it also, you have a combination in your name that we're going to talk about at the end of the show that says rules may be great for everybody else, but you don't want to follow them. You want to forge your own way and everything. Your name also indicates that you have a drive to be the best that you can be, and that family is incredibly important to you, that you get all your lessons through family. And so we get our lessons through either finances or resources, through health, or through relationships. And you said, not only do I want to get my lessons through relationships, I want to major in family relationships. And the last thing I want to talk about that's in your name, because there's a ton in your name, is that you always appreciate it when you're included. So if we were all going to go bowling, you'd still want to be asked, even if you didn't like bowling and didn't want to go with us, because that just is important with you to be included. So how does that sound?
Well, I can tell you that desire to be free and on my own and in a real job that my mother could tell her friends what I did was 1971.
Wow, that's a long time ago. Well, hearing the music, we obviously need to take a break. So stay tuned to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which is being heard on xzbn.net and X Zone Broadcast Network, and on the website knowthename.com. Now, after the break, we're going to find out how Clifford Todd managed care, drove up medical practice prices, and what he did about that. Stay tuned.
It's hard to listen to the news without realizing we're living in volatile, unprecedented times. Yet never has there been such an opportunity to transform the human condition. As old structures fail, where can we find the guidance to co-create a better way? Find Your Path Home is an ever-evolving, leading-edge information, education, and healing resource center designed to support and guide you on your path to unity and enlightenment. Based on sound principles employed by shaman worldwide, we provide techniques that can support you through the current transitions, offering online shamanic classes, international long-distance shamanic healing sessions, complimentary Mission Evolution radio episodes and Stairway to Heaven TV vignettes, seminars, retreats, and much more. All of this can be found on findyourpathhome.com.
Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which is being heard on xzbn.net and knowthename.com. Now, our guest tonight is Clifford Todd, whose website is habitfindercoach.com. / moment time. Now, Clifford, before the break, we were speaking about your various jobs. You stated that your last real job that your mom could say you worked for somebody else was 1971. So what are the job sequences since then?
I'm not understanding your question.
Okay.
I haven't had any. I've always created what I'm going to do. I'll create the project that I'm on, and sometimes other people will fund that project, but I'm always been an independent contractor throughout this process and never had a W-2 income since 1971.
But you changed so many different kinds of projects. That's what we're interested in. We know that you started with the managed care. Talk to us about that. And then what did you do next after that?
Well, I had a federal research study for the city and county of Denver for 2 years. And then I went to Minnesota to develop an econometric model of how medical groups can operate better. And they were all independent clients. And quite frankly, in my group of 105 medical groups, the administrators of the groups were my clients, and 15 of them had been ex-national presidents of their professional association, and the members of that association controlled 2/3 of the physicians in private practice in the United States. So I had the ear of the people who were managing the practice of medicine in the late 70s, early 80s, and it gave me a position of a great deal of influence about what was happening economically in medicine. And when I couldn't get those people in front of the managed care movement, I opted out to become a marketing consultant to all the people in alternative care. The chiropractors, the massage therapy people, the energy practitioners, the nutritionists, and so on. And when they couldn't pay me the fees I asked for, they would do one of two things. They would either treat me or train me. So I ended up with an extraordinary set of skills and background in what today is called lifestyle medicine. And I'm appreciative of that because it gives me a skill base for being able to work with people about not only their physical problems, but their mental, emotional. And I'm even venturing into helping them now understand the spiritual aspects of what they do. But that's only been much more recent. It's this been a journey into health. And then 14 months ago, I had cells come up in my body that said, Clifford, you need to take better care of yourself. Now, some people would call that cancer, and it's taken me 14 months of dealing with the major healthcare system here in Los Angeles to have them agree not to burn or poison me, but on Thursday, 2 days, later this week, I'm actually have my first appointment with an immunotherapist, and I'm willing now to let Western medicine actually work with my healing process, and I'm thrilled by it because it's working in conjunction with my body, not against it. So it's been a real fun journey.
Well, and I'm sure you're going to document that too and share that along with your coaching. So your website is habitfindercoach.com/moment time. So what's that about? What is it that you're offering today?
Here's the thing that is counterintuitive. Nature never acts in haste. It's always slow is fast, less is more. In connecting with people, there are habits of thinking that impact how they connect with people. And what I wanted to offer to your listeners is a little bit of guidance in how to go about connecting with people slowly. And we have 2 eyes and 2 ears, and we have skin, and we have a heart that both have a sense of feeling, but we've only got 1 mouth. So if we see, hear, and feel 6 times what we say, we have the ability to enter into the other person's world and notice what's important to them. We have the ability, after we notice what's important to them, to tell them about it in words that they would understand. And in so doing, we start to have a connection with them. And because slow is fast, if you then take time to listen, to understand what's really important to them, what are their hopes and dreams and challenges, and actually listen and keep listening until they understand that we understand so that they're understood, we lower their walls of resistance that all of us as human beings have when we meet anybody new. And most of the time for people we continue to work with every day, and even family members, because they don't feel listened to and they don't feel understood. And when they actually feel listened to and feel understood, they lower that wall of resistance that we have as human beings and pour vast amounts of energy into the symbiosis, the synergy of the relationship that you've taken the time literally to practice agape love, which is a heightened level of interest and awareness of the other person. And that's part of what the whole Mandino leadership guidance around thinking habits is about.
So are you talking about the 6 habits of thinking that impact a person's connection with other people?
Yeah, the 6 habits of thinking. And when somebody goes onto that site, they will have the ability to be able to see There's 6 habits of thinking, and there's 6 habits in the other 5 major categories of thinking. But in terms of this hour that we have, it's just enough to start with how people connect with other people, because virtually everything that we want in this life comes through other people. Now, from a spiritual standpoint, you may say it comes from God, but it comes through people. And it's with our connection with other people that the joy of our life is actually experienced.
Well,
So
I
I
happen
thought
to think that connecting with other people is so important that using names, you can see really quickly there are 6 different methods of connecting with people. And to me, they're all based on the first vowel and the first person's name. And that's why by hopefully the end of this month, if the editors approve the rewrite of this, that I'm giving out a free book on Know the Name, Know How to Connect, because I think it's so important. But that'll be on my website by the time that comes out, so everybody can download it. So I agree with you. Connecting is incredibly important. The next thing I'd really like to know, and all of us would like to know, is, the government told you that you had to have certain results and that you disagreed with that, and therefore you decided that wasn't for you. Can you share just a 1-minute synopsis of that with us? Like, what was it that they wanted that you said, no, I don't think so?
They wanted me to let's put it this way. They wanted me to validate that turning the block grants for the indigent population in the city and county of Denver and capitating those people. In other words, the government, instead of paying one block amount of money to the city and county, would pay them on a per capita basis so much. And I basically said, that's not going to work because of the dynamics of how people would enroll people. It would end up costing the government more to produce a bunch of unmet expectations about how well these people would be taken care of, and that economically the system was working better just the way it was than
We
to
need a
have
break
that.
right there. We need to take
Yeah,
another
and so
break.
they went to
Stay tuned
California
Know
and
the
did it.
Name,
And
Know the Genius
What?
in You, which is being heard on KTN.net. Stay tuned.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by L.A. Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You. Our guest tonight is Clifford Todd, whose specialty is medical group finances. He can be reached on his website at habitfindercoach.com/moment time. Now, Clifford, before the break, you were telling us about how the government wanted you to do certain things, and you said no, and we had to stop in the middle for our break. Please continue where you left off.
Oh, so they wouldn't accept the economic findings, and I never had another federal contract, but they went out to California and lost billions trying to do the same thing. And it's just an example of stuck thinking. You know, when people get into this has to be this way, and they refuse to listen to other ideas because they know what's right. It's kind of like, you know, would you rather be right or happy? That desire to be right nips a lot of people in a lot of ways, and that's just one of those 36 habits that we examine in the Habit Finder. And you know, I will be doing a short little debrief of the people connection skills when people go and take that assessment.
That's wonderful. So you mentioned that something about lifestyle medicine. What is that, and how is that different than the typical medical style that patients normally experience?
It's an oxymoron that well care belongs in a medical practice, because care in a medical practice is we take care of sick people. We don't teach people how to stay well. And as an economist, I said, that's crazy. If you teach people how to stay well, do well care, in the long run, they will live longer, happier, healthier, and it will cost the insurers and the government less money to keep people healthy. And just like it took 50 years for penicillin to begin to be accepted, it's taken close to 50 years for that concept to begin to have some traction in medical care. And now at the avant-garde is lifestyle medicine is becoming the latest medical specialty approved by, you know, the powers that be that say, oh, okay, this is an approved subspecialty of medicine. And to me, it was all intuitively obvious decades ago. But the fact that medical care is approaching 20% of our economy has finally gotten people to say, holy buckets, we need to do something or we're going to bankrupt the economy. So it's finally taken traction. And it's just an example of being stuck in bad thinking.
Well, you know, we keep hearing different things all the time, like eggs are good for you, eggs are bad for you, egg whites are good for you, but egg yolks are not good for you, but then you need egg yolks for something else. I mean, it's like the medical practice constantly is changing their mind and telling us something different all the time. How do we address that? When you say
find a doctor you trust and you treat your ingestion of various nutrients and supplements and foods the same way they used to guess with medications. Well, the doctor would say, let's try this and see how you do. Well, there's some level of experimentation in the good side of that, and most things aren't going to hurt you, But what's really good is that it's your body will tell you in its wisdom whether what you're doing is good for you or not. And it's just learning to listen to your body the same way that in connection with people, you learn to listen to other people to connect with them. You listen to your body to connect with you.
So I want to change the directions a little bit. I've talked with you privately about deductions on taxes, and I would like you to share some of the deductions on taxes that people who have children can take by hiring them if they plan the year ahead. Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, in one of the things I do with people who have let's say you have 3 kids that are between 6 and 17, and you pay a lot of taxes to finance our government. Well, if you open a simple little home-based business and you intend to operate it for a profit, the tax court says that because these employees, these 3 kids, are working in the home and you continue to pay them, the tax court says they must be doing their job correctly and they're being monitored in their job. So you literally have to set up and operate the home-based business, and I teach people to do that in a way to protect these deductions. But you can pay each child $1,000 a month and write it off as an employee business expense for your home-based business. And because the personal deduction was increased from $6,000 to $12,000 as of January 1/18, that child's tax on that $12,000 a year is tax-free to the child. So you just transferred $36,000 of your high-income salary that you're getting from a real job, an employed W-2 job, into a business expense for a small home-based business that you operate, and $36,000 is no longer paid taxes on. And in this state of California, that's probably worth somewhere around $12,000 to $14,000 cash in hand. Thank you, Uncle Sam and Governor Brown. So that's one of the top 6 tax benefits that when I have a client that is not free from taxation, I help them get free from taxation and being a little drop in the ocean that finances our governments to having significant funds available as soon as their next paycheck to begin to finance anything that they want in their personal life and to do the minimal expenses that it takes to operate a home-based business for profit. And that operate it for profit is just to keep you clean over time so that should you ever get audited, you go into an audit not only prepared, but you go in with a legal shield that you can nip the auditor at the first opening question. Do you have a business plan? Yes, I do. Did you bring it with you? Yes, I did. And the whole audit goes differently because they're properly guided in ways that typical accountants who are bean counters never advise people. But it's just part of what someone who has this kind of skill base that I've developed over 50 years. To me, it's just good business.
Well, I just think that was interesting when you and I were chatting the other day. And so for the past, well, before I get into what you were doing for the past 20 years, are there any other helpful hints on taxes that you can share very quickly?
Well, it's learning how to maximize the use of your vehicle. And it's really all about keeping good records. Now, the other interesting thing that is available to this home-based business is that we can write off any health-related expense that, I mean, you can reimburse dollar for dollar any health-related expense, like the supplements that you buy for your health, and the massages that you get done, and the deductibles on your health insurance, and anything that is related to your health, if it's properly set up, that can all be done with pre-tax dollars, not after-tax dollars.
Wonderful.
And basically, anytime you can write something off,
it's helpful.
You write off $3, it saves you $1 in taxes.
We need to take our last break. Stay tuned on Know the Name, Know the Genius in You on xzbn.net and knowthename.com. Now, after the break, we're going to find out what Clifford has in his name that has assisted him that you just might have in your name as well. Stay tuned.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Path Home Shamanic Art School has just launched a new online series of classes, Galactic Shamanism, Art of the Ancients, Key to Tomorrow. In these classes, composed and taught by Path Home founder and director Gwilda Wiyaka, you'll learn practical shamanic skills to support your daily life, such as how to build a medicine wheel to access the power of the earth, perform a shamanic journey, create sacred space in which to live and work, empower your life with totem animals, elementals, and fairy folk, and learn the art of accurately reading signs and omens. These tried and true skills are the key to living a powerful, productive life. Visit us at findyourpathhome.com to see the ever-growing collection of classes and leading-edge information to support you during these times of uncertainty and transition. All can be found at findyourpathhome.com.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by L.A. Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, The 70-Year Cover-Up Exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You. Our guest tonight is Clifford Todd, whose website is habitfindercoach.com/moment time. Now, he's taken his skills to a level where he's able to share his secrets with others to enable them to share money on taxes and medical expenses. And for the last 20 years, he's been doing network marketing. Now, Clifford, I love your analogy comparing people who work for a big company to a large plantation, which has slaves. And so you've done correct things in network marketing and made your own mistakes and ended up learning how to come out ahead. So what is it you can share with us about network marketing that everyone should know?
Well, number one, if you're in a job, stay in the job that you're in, and let me help you understand how to do network marketing without ever offending or violating any of your personal or professional relationships, not just in your job, but in your day-to-day life everywhere you go. Because what happens traditionally in network marketing is people go out, oh my God, I've got this great new product and business opportunity. I've got to tell you about it right now. Well, that's vomiting on other people, which builds up that wall of resistance. I teach people to connect deeply with people before they ever invite them over into that world. And only invite over into that world people that you know because you've taken the time to really understand who they are, have them understood, and you absolutely know that they're perfect and that your situation can be of benefit to them. And normally it ends up to be about 1 in 10. The other 9, you never violate any of your personal relationships. And it's all around the skills of connecting with people and how to do that. And that part of that is what I will do with anyone who responds and fills out the Habit Finder assessments, which will take them about 20 minutes. I will, for them investing in themselves, I'll invest about the same amount of time with them just to review how they connect with people. And it's the way I begin to get to know other people because I practice what I preach.
When you're doing Mandino's 6 rules of connecting, what's one of those rules that you haven't shared yet with us that you think could be of great benefit to our listeners?
One of the biggest things that people do is assess other people based on how they see their external characteristics. And, how do they dress? Do they look sharp? Are they in shape? Are they overweight? And we make a bunch of assumptions about people before we ever get to know them, and that clouds our thinking. And sometimes it intimidates us because we feel like we're less than they are, or we're more than they are, or they're different, or their values are different than mine. And that violates the fact that that person has a unique value simply as a human being And if we go with our original impressions of somebody, we miss the incredible opportunity to figure out whether or not that's somebody we want in our life and how we can create the connection with them where both of us flood more energy into the relationship, and we ultimately, whether we end up in business with them or not, we create deep lasting relationships that become the basis of our real joy in life. And so I think that one about how we assess other people's physical characteristics is one of the most insidious of the thinking habits that are within the 6 habits I cover when I'm dealing with connections with people.
If you could change, Clifford, one thing about the way people understand or look at the world, what would that be?
That's a great question. I look at it this way. People see a lot of evil in the world, and they take that into their thinking, and they fail to see the good in other people. Now, when I grew up, if I got a 98 on a test, my parents would say, well, what happened to the other 2? You know, and I began life as wanting to be a perfectionist. They wouldn't look at what I did good. But if we really want to connect with people, begin to notice what they do right. And when we notice what they do right, and we set boundaries around what we do and what we're willing to tolerate in our world, and we're dealing with noticing and acknowledging what people do right, if everyone did that, the world would be a much better place and we wouldn't see nearly so much evil in the world.
Now you're talking
about your
question? Yeah, now you're talking about boundaries and how important boundaries are, because you said and set boundaries. What would you suggest happen if somebody violates a boundary that you've set because they're disregarding it?
You have 2 choices.
Mm-hmm.
You either address it immediately when they understand and can remember what they did, and if you don't, you allow it to fester. And who's the one that suffers while you're festering?
Oh, you. It's the individual. Mm-hmm.
So part of people connection skills is learning how non-confrontational you are on one side versus how dismissive you are on the other side. And the only thing about not having good boundaries that are understood is you cause yourself to suffer. And you're the only one that can change that. And it's understanding. See, when we do the habit finder assessment, it's helping people be aware of the thinking habits that they have. And they have thinking habits just the same way they have all the other habits that control their life. So that's kind of where we go, is helping people understand, master their strengths and maximize their strengths and master the risk of unhealthy thinking, so that they ultimately end up having increasing abilities to take on increasing responsibilities with increasing joy and ease in their life. So it's really about understanding and becoming self-aware, which is one of the biggest gifts I can give to people, is helping them to be more aware of how they think. Not what they think, how they think.
Is there anything else that you're currently working on that you'd like to share with us?
That's another great question that I wasn't prepared for. No, that pretty well covers it. I I'm delighted to be here. And I was fascinated when you talked to me about my name. And they're all great tools to help us be more self-aware and to enhance our self-esteem and our joy in this journey of life.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Clifford. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, be surprised when you experience Clifford Todd's work. His website, again, is habitfindercoach.com/moment time. Now, Clifford's name excels at not following establishment's rules. This is found in the letter CL. If your name has a CL in it, then you too require to create your own rules and don't like having rules imposed on you. Do you know where your genius lies? Now, I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, host of the radio show Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which can be heard every weekday at various hours right here on xzbn.net radio and X Zone Broadcast Network and on knowthename.com. Now, tune in to hear the fascinating ways other people have discovered the genius in themselves and what they were able to accomplish. In each upcoming show, you'll hear clues on how you can recognize your own innate genius. For all the days and times of Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, please go to xzbn.net and check out our broadcast schedule. You can also visit the website, knowthename.com, and go to schedule and look on Saturdays on the radio, and it'll give you all the links and the summary of every single guest. Now, if you wish to learn how to read a person's name or to know more about your own name and how you can discover your own innate genius, visit knowthename.com and give yourself the gift of a session. Remember that once you know the name, you know all about the person. This is Sharon Lynn Wyeth signing off.
If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie, natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401 0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.